welcome to all my Flosstube neighbors. I'm Chris, and this is Xrossstitch, and today's Tuesday, March the 1st, 2022, and this is Flosstube number 41. I'm so glad to have you here with me today for a visit. If you are a new viewer or a new subscriber, welcome. I'm so thrilled to have you watching, spending some time with me today. I know that there are so many options there now for your Flosstube viewing, and I consider it a really great honor to have you pausing from your day and spending time with me. My mouth will start working in about 5 minutes, I promise you. If you are a returning viewer, you're the neighborhood. You are my neighbors, my extended family, all across the world, and I'm so happy to once again be meeting with you for our weekly visit. It is a joy in my life, and I am so glad that you are here today. I want to start today by addressing some things that we are all probably incredibly concerned about right now in our world. Since my last video, the world has changed. And I think that each of us has been processing and dealing with this in our own way. As I prepared for this video, I toiled for days about what to do, what to say, if to say, how to say, what I wanted to say regarding the situation occurring in Europe, specifically the Ukraine. And so many people have rallied, and within our stitching community, so many people have just in a few days' time shown innumerable ways that we can help and support and lend our energy in our small ways to what is happening in our world. I believe that my purpose here with my channel is to uplift you, is to divert you from the worries of your day, to hopefully bring a smile to your face, and to help you focus on happiness. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. But it would be remiss of me not to mention this situation. It would be remiss of me not to address the fact that we're all hurting a little more this week. With all the stresses of the world, we have more to worry about now. But that said, we do have joy around us. We do have hope around us. And as long as there are people in the world who believe in peace, who believe in the power of goodness and love and compassion, there will be hope. I believe that with every fiber of my being. So, we're going to go ahead with the video today. We're going to try to Chris it up as best we can. And in the show notes below, you will find a bevy of links to different Flosstubers and different places where you can lend your support. A Flosstuber, Tarsier Stitches, Laura, has done a tremendous amount of work. I encourage you to check her video out regarding this and the hashtag that she is elevating, which is #StitchForUkraine. You probably all seen a variety of things across Facebook and Instagram. You can go to the Flosstube channel Cup of Stitches, she is a Flosstuber in the Ukraine, and you can show her support that way. You can stitch any number of free charts that designers have been so graciously donating to the stitching community to show your support with the people of Ukraine. You can also support Ukrainian designers on Etsy. But in the show notes below, you will be able to link to any of those things that you may wish to investigate. If you do not feel that you are in the position to donate or stitch or whatever, a prayer, a candle lit, focusing on it in your daily meditation, however you choose to connect with Spirit, that is a way you can help too. No small act of love or kindness is ever, ever worthless. So that's my position, and that's what I wanted to say at the outset of today. So let's move on with the cross stitching. No, I didn't get a haircut. It's all back there. It's all bound at the back of my head. If you're new to the channel, over the course of the last year, I have been growing my hair out very vulnerably because I haven't been to a hairdresser. And I can assure you every stage has been more frightening than the last. Most of all to me. And I can't believe that I'm so visibly doing it, growing my hair out in front of you. Every horrible growing out stage, you've seen it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about because you are new here, just go back through my videos and you can see any number of frightening coiffures. But it's all back there. It's just tied up so as not to frighten any of you or your pets. This week was pretty much focused on one piece and one piece only. And I told you last week that my intention was to finish this month's segment. And alas, I did not do it. I didn't finish it. I got very close though. What I'm talking about, of course, is the amazing Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. Modern Folk Embroidery. This was the stitch along last year, as you all know. Many of you stitched it or are currently stitching it and didn't finish. So we, my friend Kathy at the Flosstube channel To Die House, and I decided that we were going to do it this year and do the hashtag Still Fresh Fruit Sal, because it is very fresh, this chart. It's amazing. I love it. I really do love it. And it's a lot of work. This is a lot of stitching. Everybody who's done it's probably going, yeah, it sure is. It's a lot of stitching. And it would almost be enough to stitch on monogamously if you had no other projects running concurrently. I do, but I focused on this and this alone, and I got a lot done in a week. I didn't get all the fill-in done, but let's talk a bit about what I did get done, and let's specifically talk about that gorgeous heart right there in the middle of that February segment. As you know, I'm using 3 different flosses with this. I'm using the dark royal blue, I'm using a very light cornflower blue, and I'm using a variegated DMC that is, I believe, literally called Delft Blues. Because this color choice was definitely inspired by the Delft pottery of the Netherlands. I am choosing where to place these. Obviously in the darkest sections, I'm using the dark, but for the rest of them, for the rest of the charted symbol, I'm using a mixture of the light cornflower blue and the variegated thread so that the variegation is toned down. But there are places in each of these focal points of the particular month that I'm using the pure variegated. And I decided to use that for this heart. And I absolutely love it. And of course, I didn't stitch this horizontally. What I did, I want to tell you about this because I know there are a couple of you who have said that they want to do this the way I'm doing it, which I find incredibly flattering. So thank you very much. But let me tell you how I did it. I started at the sweetheart portion of the heart and began. And of course, I chose the darker. You have to be strategic about where you want to use a section of your variegated floss. So I chose the darker sections of that. And sometimes that means going through the floss and cutting out lengths that you will use later on. But I used the darkest of the variegation. I started at the divot. What would you call that? The bosom, the bosom of the heart. And I worked up. I worked up, turned, came back down, and at the center line is when I reverted and I went back. And let me tell you, it took a long time, because when you're stitching on the diagonal and you have skips, you have to be very careful how many skips those are, because you're counting diagonally. It was tedious, but the effect, I believe, was just stunning, and I absolutely love it so much. I absolutely love it so much. As you can see in the little pinwheel sections, I alternated the light and the dark. I really liked that. But this was just a dream to work on this week. I wish I'd gotten further along on it, but you know what? It's all about having fun, and it's all about your craft bringing you joy, and it certainly did. I wish I'd finished it, but I'm just going to keep barreling on and then start the March section when I get ready to start the March section. So, Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery, hashtag Still Fresh Fruit Sal. If you are stitching this, please use that hashtag. So many of you are already, and so many amazing colors and choices of palettes we're seeing. So keep it coming. But there that is, my big project for the week. I had one more. I'm going to tell you about it right now, though, and it's frustrating. Caterpillar Cross Stitch is doing a mystery stitch along this year. It is called How Does Your Garden Grow? And they are it's a fabulous company out of the UK. This is an adorable little chart thus far. We receive our new section of it on the 21st of each month, and I picked it up and I worked on it yesterday. I wanted to because I wanted to be able to show it to you, to be able to talk about it with you. And the new section is so very cute. Finally, the gnome. I have my gnome. I'm so excited about it. But I started on these adorable little peas, English peas in pods. And I stitched the first small one, and I was going to move on to the second larger pea pod. And I did it and did one side and then started stitching the next one. And when I got to the bottom, they didn't match up. I made a counting error. So I thought, oh, no big deal. So I just took out that side of the pea pod and started stitching it again. And then I realized as I was, that there's an error in the other side of the pea pod. So I'm going to have to frog that entire pea pod, and it made me mad. It made me mad at about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and I put it away, and I was so mad at it, I didn't stitch at all last night. I could have gotten a good 2 to 3 hours more of stitching in, but I was so upset. I just did not want to stitch, and I didn't. I punished it. I punished my cross stitching. I put it in the corner. I should have put me in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner. You grew up in the 80s if you know what that line is from. So yeah, that I can't hardly show this as progress. I guess so. I mean, I did the first little pea pod. But, you know, sometimes you just have to walk away until the pain of it fades. But it's an adorable chart. I'm loving doing it. And I will make up with it before next week and probably have more to show you on that. How Does Your Garden Grow? From Caterpillar Cross Stitch, Mystery Stitch Along. Very briefly, and I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the video, but we are still going to do the hashtag Mary Will Sal with the daffodils. Well, I'm going to talk more about that. I didn't feel that this week was the week to begin that. I think that I want your time and attention and any charitable sort of endeavors that you want to support to be dealing with what is happening right now in Ukraine. So we will pick that up later in this month. And I think that that's what Mary Will would have wanted as well. So just a brief note about that. It's coming, and so many of you are excited to begin it, but we will do that later in the month, maybe in a week or two. You see so much more gray hair when this hair is pulled back like this, though. I will say that much. I'm getting so much more gray in my beard. I'm going to look like Alfred Einstein. I'm going to look like Alfred Einstein, little known cousin of Albert Einstein. I'm going to look like Albert Einstein before it's over with. Look at all that. Maybe you'll tell me it's distinguished. One of these days you're going to tune in and all this gray is going to be gone and you're going to be, yeah, Chris ordered some Just for Men on Amazon. It's time for Story Time with Chris. And this week, it's less of a story and more of a share. We occasionally, in the Neighbor's Corner, the segment where you send me photos of crafts that you have completed, cross-stitching projects, anything really you want to show and share, I'm happy to share. But last week we saw a beautiful quilt, and we've seen some quilt projects previously in other segments of the Neighbor's Corner, and it reminded me about something that I have had in my possession for years and years and years. Something that I have been seeing my entire life. My grandmother quilted by hand. And, I talk about my grandmother all the time. You all, are very well aware of her. She quilted by hand. Before I was born, I never saw my grandmother quilting. But it was something that she apparently was very, very good at, loved to do very, very much. And it was very much discussed among the other members of my family when I was a little boy. We had quilts, of course, on every bed that she had made. And those, have all been flung to the four corners of the world. I don't have a single one of those. But miraculously, I have in my possession I have 5 quilt tops that she completed. These were always in the top of my mother's closet in her bedroom. I would see the corners of them folded up on the top shelf. I was forbidden to get up there and take them down, and I didn't. Because, as a little boy, that was a lot less interesting to me than, some of the things that were in the other closets, like my Aunt Johnny Mae's fox stole. That was so interesting. I thought it was a stuffed animal. She let me play with it too, but that's another story. The quilt tops were always up there. When my grandmother passed away, I was in college. So I only was able to really focus enough attention to get a few things out of the house. And my other aunts kind of dispersed and took other things from the house, which is interesting. Some of them, they're sending back to me now. But anyway, these quilt tops, I'm rambling. I'm being very Southern as I tell this story, but let's go back to the quilt tops. I want to show you what I have in my possession are 5 handmade, hand-quilted quilt tops of my grandmother's. And I'm going to watch this video and narrate it as you look at it now. So I'm going to watch it on my screen as you see it. So here we go. This is the first of them. I'm only showing you 3. There are 2 of them that are pretty, but they're much more basic. They're applique quilts. One is a little sunbonnet girl. But this is one that's in pretty bad repair. As you see, because of storage and what have you, not storage since I've had them, but previous to my having them, some of them have gotten watermarked. But you can see all of this is done. Look at that amazing, amazing fabric, that red and yellow and green. It's very mid-century. But these were all, I mean, look at these small pieces. These are about 1-inch hexagons that she hand stitched. And you know, there are countless on this quilt. As you can see, they've gotten ripped in certain places. That is just, I think that may have been a rip, but these things are probably, well, they're at least 70 years old, if not more than that. This was one of her pride and joys. This is what all of the other family members used to talk about, was that my grandmother could hand quilt a double wedding ring. And this is, I believe, that particular name of the pattern, a double wedding ring quilt. Remember, this is all done by hand. I don't particularly care for the colors in this, but you have to appreciate the artistry. This is just to show you that, look at that. That's all, she did that all by hand. Every single piece is done by hand. And I do treasure these things because I know my grandmother sat and did that. There's such a variety of patterns, and she clearly didn't care. She wasn't necessarily going with a color scheme in mind, was she? But she definitely, oh, now this one is my favorite. This is the one that I have it folded over on itself. That's not a mistake there on the bottom right-hand corner. This is the one that I would love to have made into a quilt. This is my favorite of the ones that I have. What would you call this? Is this a honeycomb pattern? Look, you can tell look at this one. That's navy blue and white. And that's probably old dress fabric, but she just put it together so randomly. My grandmother wasn't colorblind. I just love the fact that she felt that it was all, but you can tell, you know, she did put some thought behind it. And this is just another way to show you that, yes, this is all, she did every single one of these by hand. That's all stitched by hand. And it amazes me to see, again, to show you that she stitched it all by hand. It amazes me that she used to do this. Again, I never saw her doing this, but I find it remarkable now. And I think that see, isn't that pretty? Just so pretty. I would love to have that. I know nothing about quilting. I don't even know that this could be washed. I know there are ways by which fabric can be restored. This one's in pretty good shape, but it would probably need a good washing, if you could even wash it. But boy, I would love to have that made up into a quilt somehow. There's no way that I'm going to learn how to quilt there's no way that I'm going to learn how to quilt to do that. I would be scared to death to do it. But if any of you have any ideas about where I might be able to get that made up or how I should go about doing that, please let me know. I wanted to share it with you though, because of that. I know that many of you do quilt and have much more knowledge about this than I do. And aside from the fact that I just thought it was something remarkable to show you what an achievement by my grandmother. And these were just, you know, I just showed you 3. I have 5 quilt tops, and I know she made countless quilts in her life. But she just never quilted these up. I don't know why. But let me know what you think about all that. I'm happy to share it with you. I hope you enjoyed it. And I think that she would be tickled to death to know that, you know, 100 years. That white one is probably 100 years old. I can't imagine that it wouldn't be. She'd probably be tickled to death to know that y'all are getting a kick out of it today. So thanks for watching that. And let me know what you think about having that quilt top made up. I would love to have it as an actual quilt. This week in Happy Mail, I received my new favorite thing. And I want to tell you about it because it is my new favorite thing. I got a Stitchy Stand. This thing's remarkable. It has changed my stitching process. This is from Fat Quarter Shop. This is from Fat Quarter Shop. It's it's Lori Holt of Bee in My Bonnet for It's So Emma through the Fat Quarter Shop. And this is a Stitchy Stand. It's made so that you can put charts in here or your iPod or however you want to do it. And it has all these little pockets around. And you can see, this is from working on Fruits of Plenty. I use these baggies and these things slide all over my chair. And they get underneath me and you know, I'm kind of a madhouse when I stitch. My scissors would fall under my thigh and I'd have to, you know, where did they go and all this. And then all of these, you know, when you pull off a piece of floss from the 6th strand, but you've still got the other 5, but you don't want to put it back in the bag. So that's why this has changed everything for me, because now it all stays here. I don't use this for my iPad because my iPad has its own little stand, but it's right beside it. It just tucks into my chair because I sit in a big chair. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So if you're and it has a lot of pockets in the back. I usually keep my scissors in the side and my clipper, I use tweezers when I stitch to pull things, because you do. I never knew how important tweezers were going to be to cross stitching until I restarted last year. But anyway, this thing's amazing. So, you know, I only tell you really about products or things like that I really love because, you know, I'm not trying to sell you stuff, but this came and I love it. I just love it. It comes in a bag. It comes in a little bag, which this is not my style, flowers and what have you. So this will, you know, I will use this for something else. But if you're going places and you want to carry this with you, it's great for it. But this thing I adore. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So there's that. Fat Quarter Shop. It's really a wonderful thing. And now I don't have to, you know, when I get up and go to the bathroom while I'm stitching, I don't have little plastic baggies stuck to my legs. Now moving on to the giveaway winners from last week. We had 3 giveaways. They were all fantastic. The theme of last week's giveaways was samplers. And I had 3 adorable charts. The first was this very cute Little House Needleworks honeybee sampling chart. Very, very cute. Using the YouTube random comment picker, the winner of this was Mary Lou W. Mary Lou is a frequent commenter, longtime neighbor here at Xrossstitch. I'm very tickled that her name popped up for that. Congratulations, Mary Lou. Next was a beautiful Brenda Gervais sampler. This one called Sampler Hill. The keyword for this one was the word hill. And the winner of this, Brenda Bloomfield. Brenda, congratulations. You won Brenda Gervais Sampler Hill. And the third giveaway from last week, another Brenda Gervais piece. This one, Heart and Hand. Keyword for this was heart. My stomach's about to growl. I wish you could. was so loud. I wish you could hear it. I need to put a microphone on my tummy. No, we don't want that. We really don't want that. Oh, the keyword for this one was heart. And the winner of this one is Ann Walters. Congratulations, Ann. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations. I have not been drinking. Congratulations to all three of you. I will be sending those out as soon as I receive your mailing addresses. And those will, as I said, those will go out with my next batch of giveaways. If you have won a giveaway, please do send me your mailing address. I haven't received a couple from last week. I've only received one of the three. So go ahead and send me those. And I know that people get busy and they sometimes it takes them a while to catch up in videos. And that's absolutely fine. But if for some reason that I haven't heard from you, you know, within 3, 4, maybe a month after a giveaway happens, I'm going to let it revert back to the stash. But go ahead and send me those, and I'll get them out as soon as I send giveaways. And this week we have 3 more cute little things to give out. And I left them in the other room. Haven't done this in a while. Knocked the hairband right out of my head. Okay, so how does it look? Okay, we're all in one piece. It's very windy. The first is a very, very, very cute country cottage needleworks chart. This one is called Sunflowers in Summer. Sunflowers in Summer. And even though it is not yet summer, it feels very much like summer where I am right now. And sunflowers are rather topical as well. So I thought that this was a perfect chart for today. Country cottage needlework, sunflowers in summer. The key word for this is going to be sunflower. Sunflower. Next up, we have a chart that is one card, but it's going to come with a cute little accessory. This is hands-on design, coffee and friends, the perfect blend, and it's going to come with an adorable set of coffee floss drops. These are so, so cute. A neighbor sent these to me, and I don't use floss drops, but those are just adorable, and I think that you'll have a great time with them. But the key word for this, of course, is going to be coffee. C-O-F-F-E-E, coffee. And then lastly, this is just the most random choice, but I think it's cute as it can be. Plum Street Samplers Llama Lump. Llama Lump. Just so funny, those llamas standing on each other's backs like that. And I believe they're snowflakes, so this is kind of like the, it's not so untopical because I think some of you still have snow where you are. Plum Street Samplers Llama Lump. The key word for that is llama. L-L-A-M-A, llama. So if you would like to be considered for any of those, please use the keyword in your comment below. Please be 18 years of age so that I can ask you for your address. Please be a subscriber to the channel. Please like the video and don't use any of those nasty words like giveaway or prize or winner in your comment. You know the drill, and we will be drawing those before I film next week, and we'll announce the winners in next week's video. Oh, there goes my tummy again. I should have popped in for a sandwich when I blinked out to get those. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it provided a little bit of a break from the worries and cares that you may have going on right now. I hope that it I hope that you can find in the weeks and days to come ways to Chris it up in your life, to find those little moments of joy, those little moments of inspiration, little moments of hope, because those little things do help. They do add up. Small gestures added together do make a lot of difference in this world in which we live. So, that being in mind, take care. Have a wonderful week of stitching. Have a wonderful week ahead. And until next time, I love you all very much and take care. Bye-bye.